Welcome back to another episode of the DNC Reviews podcast. I'm Arjun, as you know. We also have Ronan and Seung with us here today. We're back with another episode after a mini hiatus. And today we're going to be doing a review of one of the best albums of the decade, best albums of 2016. It is Blonde by Frank Ocean.
That's the way every day goes. Every time we've no control. If the sky.
Let's start off with least favorite tracks. Who wants to start off?
All right, I'll go first. My favorite is either Ivy or Pink plus White, and my least favorite, man. I mean, there are all these funky sounds. I forgot. Was Pretty Sweet the one that was kind of experimental?
Yeah.
I didn't really like that song.
That's fair. Yeah, I kind of had a similar assessment. My favorite songs are Solo, but not the actual solo, like the one with Andre 3000. Nikes and Godspeed and White Ferrari. And my least favorite track, if I had to pick, is probably Pretty Sweet or one of the interludes, like Facebook Story or Be Yourself. I felt like they weren't that necessary.
My favorite was Solo and Self Control, and my least favorite was also Pretty Sweet.
Bro, this album's just like, it's just crazy. Like, you know that you're listening to quality music. I feel like from the first song, like Nikes, like I feel like that could easily, you could argue that that's the best song on the album. Everything about the song worked, and it's just like an amazing song. I thought that was amazing.
A lot of the songs, the beat doesn't carry the song. It's like his voice itself. And yeah, a lot of the songs are just his voice, and he's like singing. And that's enough. Maybe that's just because it's Frank Ocean, but it's like, that's enough to carry the song for me.
Yeah, it's a good point, because like you see a lot of artists these days getting like carried by the beat, like literally like dragged on the floor by the beat, like that Uzi Future project. Like, come on, man. Like, come on, man. But then you move on to songs like Godspeed, White Ferrari, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, but Siegfried. That 3-track run is crazy. If it's like Sad Boy Hours. This is a 3 a.m. Friday night album. Like, every single song you can just put on and just straight like reflect on your life, you know? Like, it's like, it works.
Dude, this is the one album that the girls at my school listen to when they're emotional.
Exactly. Like,
Right.
sees no boundaries. It doesn't matter what your race is, what your gender is, who you are, what your age is. If you put this on, you can get in your feels, and you'll probably come out of that session as a better person. The song you mentioned like Self-Control. I feel like that song is crazy.
I really like the ending of the song, where I think he's like, there's a beat run, and then he's like singing. Just got me into the feels yesterday when I was listening to it. Yeah.
Dude, like, you can think that like, oh, he's not gonna get me in my feels, like 4.5 minutes out of a 5-minute song, all of a sudden. Like, I'm not even afraid to admit that, because I know it happens to everyone.
You know how like the album, so the cover says Blonde, but the name is Blonde with like an E.
Yeah.
And like I read that like that's to convey like the masculine way of saying blonde and the feminine way of saying blonde. You know what I mean?
Yo, it's also halfway through the album.
Yo. It's like showing us our like split personalities that we didn't know we even had, you know.
You can tap into that side. You can explore, you can experiment, you can be yourself, and it doesn't, like, as corny as that sounds, like, you can just do whatever you want. Then we go to songs like, bro, Solo, Reprise, Andre 3000. That song is insane. That song is the best song on the album. The flow, like, if no one, like people will probably listen to that song and be like, oh, it's pretty cool. It's like, his flow is pretty nice. No. That flow, you will never hear that flow from anyone ever again. The rhymes are crazy, the bars actually have meaning, and it's short. It's a short song, it's like a minute. And he just gives you straight flow, straight bars the entire song. Let's just go over this album cover for like 2 minutes. Like, he feels like vulnerable, you know? Like, he's like in a shower, it looks like. He's like exposed. He's covering his face. I think that adds to the whole experience of the album. Like, Ronan already touched on the the text at the top, but I think that the image is in like conveys a lot of vulnerability, but like also like sticking out, especially with like their like green hair. Like I don't know. I think it's interesting to think about.
Yeah, also how he seems vulnerable despite looking kind of jacked.
Yeah, exactly. Like people always sort of find
Yeah,
something that's wrong about them and
yeah.
hone in on that and focus on that in order to like bring themselves down. If we have nothing else that we want to go over, we can just get right into scoring this and doing all of that.
Yeah, I think it's a really good album. It's one of the top like simp albums that I like. There are three artists that I like, which are Joji, Frank Ocean, and Daniel Caesar. So I really like this album. But yeah, as you guys
The
said,
Mount Rushmore Simps.
Yeah,
The Mount
facts,
Rushmore
facts,
Simp
facts,
songs.
facts, bro. For add some foot to that list, bro.
Oh yeah.
yeah, but as you guys said, the interludes weren't really getting me or anything. So, but it's still a good album. There are a lot of good, like, sad songs, I guess. So, with that in mind, I would give this a 8.5 out of 10.
I agree with most of what you said. I think that this album is really solid. I recommend that you listen to the entire thing. I think it's great. Songwriting is amazing. I think that people usually underrate songwriting and like lyrics. People usually have the mindset of if it sounds good, then it is good. But if the lyrics are tight, then like that makes it like 100 times as good. And you understand what he's saying, 100 times as good. Features are great. Young Lean is on Godspeed. I don't know. I don't know if you knew that, but he's there like as like a background vocalist. That's pretty sick. I do agree that the interludes kind of suck, but I can see how they would work, and I wouldn't want to take points away just because I don't like the interludes personally. As I said before, he can do better. I think that this is a good step in the right direction, but this isn't the final destination, especially for Frank as an artist. So with that all being said, I'm gonna give this album a 7.5.
I mean, you guys covered all of it, but I like to say, a guy like Frank Ocean, I'm expecting some good interludes, right? But like these interludes are like actually pissing me off to the point I might give it a 6. But I'm gonna be nice. Just the other songs just support the album, just overpowered those mistakes he made. So with that in mind, I'll give it an 8.
Yeah, this album is great. If you're on the fence about listening to this, I already said this, but please do. It's great. It's a really good listen. If you're sad, literally hit shuffle, and any song that you land on that isn't an interlude will probably be good to go. But yeah, DNC is back. We took a little break. But yeah, we're everywhere. We're YouTube. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on Amazon. We're on Apple Music. We hit 1,000 downloads for our audios, which is kind of hype. We're closing in on 100 subscribers. We're not really there yet. Yeah, if we can get 100 before the end of the year, that'll be amazing. And keep in mind, like, this is all our opinion. Like, what we say isn't the truth, like the complete truth. What we say is obviously biased, but we're just hopefully we can just give you insight while also having fun ourselves and dipping our feet in genres that we wouldn't necessarily explore on our own. So yeah, that is the motto of DNC. We'll be back. This has been a fun time. Frank Ocean, 2016, Blonde. The review's now over. Yeah. Goodbye. Yeah.